An interesting article in this week's tablet newspaper poses a compelling question. What are the roots of today's Catholic anger and disgust? Guest columnist, noted Catholic theologian George Weigel attributes this growing discontent to the latest phase of the abuse crisis roiling the Catholic Church. Mr. Weigel joins me now. Thank you so much, Mr. Weigel, for being with us. Here at Currents News, we report the facts. More importantly, we always seek to accurately report that the sexual allegations popping up around the country are mostly abuses of the past. Do you see a reluctancy from secular media to report the cases as such?
Liz, I don't think we should minimize the fact that there has been a pattern of abusive clerical behavior and episcopal malfeasance in dealing with that in the Catholic Church over the past several decades. What the Pennsylvania grand jury report indicates, and what was broadly misreported, was that the abuse problem has largely, if not totally, been solved, and that the real issue now is holding to account bishops who did not, or who are not today, being transparent and appropriately disciplinary about abuse cases in the present. This is all bad for evangelization, and that's why it has to change.
Let's take it to a more personal level, Mr. Weigel. These allegations, as you know, can potentially rock a person's faith. That said, why is it, in your opinion, so important that Catholics recognize a majority of these abuses did actually happen in the past?
Well, the other thing it's important for people to recognize is that the overwhelming majority of priests and bishops are good men dedicated to their vocations and sacrificing a great deal to lead a very difficult life under contemporary circumstances. I think what we all need to do is take a deep breath, examine conscience on where we're not being the missionary disciples we were baptized to be, and then getting on with the job of being evangelists in the 21st century world. This crisis really should not shake anyone's faith in the Lord. It's very important for people to realize that Catholic faith begins not with the church, not with the ministers of the church, but with friendship with the Lord Jesus Christ. Everything else grows out of that.
Mr. Weigel, I want to tap even further into your expertise on these matters. Is there evidence that the church is making any progress in its efforts to stop abuse?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of evidence to that effect. Seminaries today are very different than they were 20 or 30 years ago. I think many, if not most, bishops are making every effort to prevent the abuse of young people in the church. Catholic Church is actually one of the safer environments for young people in a society riddled with abusive sexual behavior. The difference is that we've owned up to this and we've been open about it. We need to be more open. The bishops in particular need to be more open about their failures. But as far as environmental safety is concerned, the Catholic Church is a pretty safe place for everybody today.
Why do you believe that so many Catholics, it seems, who may not believe much else they read in the paper or see on TV, so readily believe misrepresentation in reports around the country? What are your thoughts on that quickly?
I would simply ask my brother and sister Catholics to apply the same skepticism and critical faculties that they apply to everything else they read in the newspapers to reporting about the Catholic Church. A lot of that reporting is necessary and fair, but a lot of it is also agenda-driven, and we need to be able to distinguish between the two.
Mr. Weigel, I sincerely appreciate your time and your perspective. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Liz.